Ben Winks. If I'm being honest, I have no idea what I'm doing. Trent Noop.
We're losing by 30, but good job. You guys got it. Yeah.
This is the 2 Point Stance podcast.
Are you done?
Yes.
Good.
Welcome to the 2 Point Stance podcast this week. We had a Super Bowl last week. Yeah, we're a week late to the party, but hey, better late than never. I've heard probably every stance that could possibly be taken on the final play of the game. Trent and I have talked about it, thought about it. It was a bad play, right, Trent?
I mean, I totally agree with the play call. I thought Pete...
Wait a minute, you agree?
Was an absolute genius.
Oh my God.
I think that was probably one of the best called plays I've ever seen. All Wilson had to do was complete a 1-yard pass. I mean, what's honestly the point in giving it to one of the best running backs in the league on the 1-yard line? What's the point of it? Yeah, you might as well throw a pass from the 1-yard line. And unfortunately for Russell Wilson and the Seahawks, they lost. But it was a great play.
All right, noting the clear and evident sarcasm in the voice of Trent Noop, I'll give you some stats. At the end of the game, they decided, as Trent so eloquently stated, to go for a 1-yard pass. In the NFL this year, there have been numerous attempted throws from the 1-yard line. 66 touchdowns were thrown from the 1-yard line and 0 interceptions. So if you look at it statistically, it's a pretty safe play. And if you also look at Marshawn Lynch's short yard numbers, he was one of 5 from the 1-yard line this year on goal-to-go situations. That's 20%. I understand that they had 3 shots at it. But for a 1-yard or a 1 play, like on second down, it's not a dumb decision when you look at the actual numbers. However, it was dumb not to hand the ball to Marshawn Lynch. You have 3 plays, go for it.
Yeah, I agree with you.
You have to give it to him.
I was being sarcastic a little bit ago, but when you
wait, you were being sarcastic?
Lynch, what?
Are you just going to repeat everything I say tonight? I just stated that you were being sarcastic. You can move on.
Okay, anyway, when you have a guy like Marshawn Lynch on the 1-yard line, you got to give it to beast mode. All right, I'm done.
That's your take?
Yep.
God, you are awful at this. Marshawn Lynch would have made it into the end zone on one of those 3 runs. There's no doubt in my mind.
The thing about it, though, like we talked before, if Wilson would have completed that pass for a touchdown, Pete Carroll is a genius.
Okay, and think about this. How many times does the quarterback get to be bypassed by all the criticism? Pete Carroll or Darrell Bevell, whoever made the play call, it all got deflected from Russell Wilson, the person who actually threw the interception. He threw the pick.
Because it was a stupid play call.
But if it would have worked, Pete Carroll would have been a genius for going against the grain.
Wilson wouldn't have got any praise for completing that pass. He's supposed to complete the pass.
No, he would have. Oh, it's Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson, the savior quarterback who saved the Seattle franchise from imminent doom, took them to 2 Super Bowls by the time his 3rd year was over. Oh, look, he won the Super Bowl on a slant pattern on the last play of the game. Oh, yay.
No, it would have been, wow, Pete Carroll, how do you feel about making that great play call? Oh, you know, I just doing what I thought would work. We were on the 1-yard line. I had faith in Russell to complete that pass, and we got a touchdown on it. There would have been nothing of saying, Wilson, good job. You did a great job. No, because he's the quarterback. He's supposed to make that play.
No, but on the telecast, they would have praised Pete Carroll for his play call. After the game, they would have talked to Russell Wilson. He would have been bawling on the field. I just want to thank the play callers for making such a good play call and put us in position to win the game. And he would have cried his way into the living rooms, into the hearts of America. And he would have been mythologized as this awesome 5'11" quarterback with curly hair and a beard who threw 4 picks in the NFC Championship game.
He is pretty good quarterback. I don't know what it is.
He's a game manager. He's not that good. Put him on.
Better than Ben Roethlisberger?
No, put him on Pittsburgh's. Pittsburgh would not make it to the Super Bowl.
No, because they're not that good of a team.
Oh yeah, because if you put Ben Roethlisberger on the Seahawks, they would have made it to the Super Bowl.
No.
Yes.
Wilson he's so smart. He might have the best behind Tom Brady. He might have the best quarterback IQ there possibly could be.
What about Drew Brees?
Third.
What about Aaron Rodgers?
Fourth.
What about Peyton Manning?
Third.
You're dumb. 2/3, really.
Fourth. Rodgers is fifth.
What's up with you and Tom Brady? Is it just because he went to Michigan?
Tom Brady's awesome.
Why do you think that, though? Because he went to Michigan?
He's now the best.
No, it's Joe Montana. What is? No, it's Joe Montana. He was 4-0.
Tom Brady's 4-2.
I know, he lost twice. To Eli Manning.
He's got there 6 times. Oh, bang. Next segment.
We're not ending the segment there.
Yeah, we are.
You're not the MC.
I do what I want.
Are you serious right now? Can we just do the show?
Next segment.
The play call was awful. The execution was awful. Seattle should have won the game. They blew it.
But my boy Tom Brady and the Patriots won.
Anyway, coming up next, we'll talk about some NBA players on the move, who should go where, and how would they help the teams that they could possibly go to. Ben Winks. Breaking news on in here, people. Trent Noop.
You know what I think?
Hit me with it.
Geno Smith's a stud.
This is the 2 Point Stance Podcast.
There you go.
Take out the papers and the trash, or you don't get no spending cash. If you don't scrub that kitchen floor, you ain't gonna rock and roll no more.
The NBA season is about 3/5 of the way done. Some teams are climbing up the leaderboards rapidly, like Cleveland, but we'll get there shortly. What players are out there on the market that could help take a contending team over the top? What do you think, Trent?
Well, I have some good inside information from very good sources that I have a few guys out there on the.
Yes, we understand. You have a few guys, good sources.
What's
yes,
that?
let's get to these. Get to the names. Let's just go.
Okay. Goran Dragic from Phoenix.
Or Goran Dragic, for those not familiar with the way Trent speaks. He's not very familiar with the English language and how it works.
There's been very good sources saying
His functional IQ is basically 70, so we got to feel bad for him every now and again.
I believe he's on the Lakers.
Goran Dragic is not going to the Lakers. You hometown you are unbelievable.
Dragic could possibly.
It's Dragic.
But I actually see him going to the Miami Heat. He would truly help that team out. He would be.
I can't take you seriously right now. Who are these insiders you're getting this information from? Goran Dragic is not going to Miami. Goran Dragic is not going to the Los Angeles Lakers. If he's going anywhere,
I promise these sources that their names will not be disclosed on our show.
If he's going anywhere, Daryl Morey is going to try to get him in Houston.
Houston doesn't need him.
Houston does need him.
They have Patrick Beverly.
He's not a good offensive point guard.
Anyway, back onto my turn.
Yeah, back to Trent's list.
The other guy.
By the way, his sources are the streets.
The other big name player I could see would be Brook Lopez on the move.
Okay, where's he going?
There's been rumors of him going to the Denver Nuggets for J.J. Hickson and JaVale McGee. Now, I really don't know if that would work out real well for Brooklyn. Obviously, Denver would work out in that situation. Team him up with Kenneth Faried, Aaron Aflalo, Ty Lawson. Speaking of Aflalo, though, there's another guy that could be on the move.
Ty Lawson's also on the trading block.
Also, moving on, Reggie Jackson I've heard of, which that name's been going on for
I've
a
heard of
while
Reggie
now.
Jackson also.
What's that?
I've heard of Reggie Jackson also.
So my sources have been telling me that those three very well could get traded. What have you heard, Ben?
All right, I'm going to completely ignore Trent's sources, who, as I clearly said earlier, are the streets and/or himself as he lays in his bedroom thinking of these things at night. I think Goran Dragic has a chance to go to Houston.
Lakers.
I think...
There have been rumors that Lakers would give up Jordan Hill and Ed Davis for him.
Nobody wants those guys.
Yeah, you do.
Why would you want
Obviously,
it?
Phoenix does. My sources have not lied to me yet. I knew Jim Harbaugh was going to Michigan, and he went.
I told you he
also
was.
I also knew that Julius Randle was going to break his leg first game.
What are you doing there?
I'm trying to prove my sources know what's going on. I also knew Deion Waiters was getting traded, and he did.
I told you that.
You didn't tell anybody.
Okay. Anyway, I think that Ray Allen will be looking to join a team because he has to be on a roster by March 1st or else he's not eligible for the playoffs. I don't think it'll be Cleveland. They have a roster spot open, but I don't think they'll use it on Ray Allen. I think he could possibly go to Washington to join back up with Paul Pierce to try to help them get over the hump. Possibly Memphis, possibly Golden State, and possibly the Spurs. I'm not sure where Ray Allen will go. Emeka Okafor is out there. He could be looking to join.
What are we doing?
We're talking about players on the move.
No, we're talking about trade deadline, Ben. And I'm pretty sure Okafor and Ray Allen are not on teams.
Well, I introduced the segment as NBA players on the move. Ray Allen and Emeka Okafor are NBA players. They are on the move.
All right, well then, can I go back to my turn?
No, you had your turn. All right,
Oh, I
no,
want
here,
the four
no,
back.
no, let me have a chance to be like Trent. All right, so I heard that Luol Deng is probably going to go back to the Bulls for nothing. The Cavaliers are going to trade for Andrew Bynum, and they're going to give up Brendan Haywood. And you know what?
Everyone's on a team, so they want to trade.
My sources are telling me that the Bulls are going to get rid of Derrick Rose for a warm bag of chips that they got on the corner of 42nd and Michigan Street. That's what the streets are my sources, sorry. That's what my sources are telling me. Oh,
Well,
and
yeah,
also, no, hold on, hold on. The adults are speaking, Trent. I also heard that Miami is willing to trade Hassan Whiteside for Boogie Cousins, straight up.
That would actually be a good trade. for
Stop.
teams. They'd be getting a good player in Hassan Whiteside. Really, he only has more potential. He's averaging a triple-double right now. He's a really good player.
We sound like idiots.
Well, I don't. You do.
I don't.
Anyway, I've been hearing rumors as well that Andrew Bynum could be coming back out of retirement.
Stop!
And that he could be signing with the Indiana Pacers.
Again?
Yeah.
He's gonna ruin Roy Hibbert again?
Yeah.
He's gonna make him a trash can again?
And I've also been hearing that Lance Stevenson could be on the move too.
That's a
with
real
Charlotte.
one. That's a real
He
one.
could be going back to Indiana.
He could be also
Or
going to
possibly
Brooklyn.
LA.
Or Brooklyn. Alright, let's play a game. You ready for this, Trent? Let's play a game.
Yeah.
Who are the worst max players in the league right now, for real?
Gordon Hayward.
I'm all in with Roy Hibbert.
I agree. But Gordon Hayward's up there too.
He's not that
And
bad.
it would have been Josh Smith if he was still a max player.
I'm not sure. Was he a max?
Yeah, he was max.
He just didn't get the max years?
Yeah.
Jeez. That was a fun game. Alright, anyway,
That was-
coming up next, we'll discuss the surging Cleveland Cavaliers. My Cleveland Cavaliers, the team that I lit a fire
We'll
underneath.
also talk about my LA Lakers.
We'll focus on the Cavaliers. Stick with us. We'll be right back. Ben Winks. Okay, but think about this. Trent Noop.
What's your point?
This is the 2 Point Stance podcast. No. All right, per Trent's whim, we'll start with the Lakers. Trent, what is the state of the Los Angeles Lakers in your humble, honest, and obviously correct opinion?
Well,
Moving on.
my
Cleveland has been
LA
playing.
sources have been telling me
Oh, his LA
that
sources.
Byron Scott is not very happy with Nick Swaggy P. Young, or Jeremy Lin, or Carlos Boozer. Really, when you lose a guy like Kobe Bryant, who by far and away is the best player to ever play the game of basketball, and you lose him for the year, and you're without one of your best players as well, in Jordan Hill, really, you should, your all-star team should be Jeremy Lin and Carlos Boozer. All right? Now, those two don't even play with each other.
Ew.
I'm done. Restart.
Well, folks, we just learned that Jeremy Lin and Carlos Boozer do not play with each other, in case you were curious. They are on the Lakers All-Star team right now, apparently, so I don't think really Trent knows what's going on in Lakerland. So let's just, while he recovers, let's just hit Cleveland. Cleveland's won 13 of 14. They're playing much better since LeBron came back from his 2-week vacation in Miami. Are you back, Trent?
Yeah, I'm back.
It's nice of you to come back after you left the studio. Anyway, Cleveland's playing.
Let's talk about the Lakers.
Oh, God. Go ahead.
Alright. My sources
Oh, Swaggy P and Kobe play with each other now?
from LA told me
What you were going to do
that
with Kobe?
Byron Scott's not happy with Nick Swaggy P. Young.
Oh, not this
Jeremy
again.
Lin, or Carlos Boozer.
We just heard this.
And-
Move on.
No. And there's been big time rumors that Ed Davis and Jordan Hill could be on the move. And I'm really feeling like a Goran Dragic from Phoenix. That's who I'm feeling we're going to probably get.
What are you looking
at?
at?
the same time, they need a tank. They need to lose out, get a top 5 pick so we can go get Jahlil Okafor, and we're going to be set for the rest of our lives. All right, your take, man.
First off, you're not going to get a top 5 pick. Second off, you need the number 1 pick to get Jahlil Okafor. Now, like I said, Cleveland has won 13 of their last 14, playing much better since LeBron came back from his 2-week vacation. And this is what I expected the team to look like all year. I don't know why they didn't. Well, I mean, I do know why they didn't have the team chemistry. The roster construction wasn't right. But now that they have all the pieces together, Kevin Love, if he wants to be, is on certain nights, like today against the Lakers. He hit 7 of 8 from downtown. That's good. Clearly, we need that. Cleveland needs that. LeBron's facilitating, Kyrie's scoring. We got bench production. Timofey Mozgov is a mountain in the middle. This is the way the team should have been playing all year long. They're getting hot at the right time. If you take out the 5-7 start and the games that LeBron missed when they went 1-9, they're 24-5. They're really good. Actually, no, they're 25-5 now. They're really good. That's the top team. That's why they're going to make it out of the East. I don't see what team, Trent, what team in the East is going to stop them in a 7-game series? Honestly.
The Chicago Bulls.
Why?
Well, let's see here.
They haven't beaten the Cavs all year.
Who's your starting point guard?
Kyrie.
Mine's Derrick Rose.
Kyrie's better.
Wash. Who's your starting
What do you
shooting
mean,
guard?
wash?
Wash. Who's your starting shooting guard?
J.R. Smith.
Jimmy Butler.
All right, you get
Jimmy
that.
Butler is much better than JR.
All right. Small forwards, LeBron. I'll take that one.
Yeah. Power forward, I got Pau Gasol.
I'll take Kevin Love.
I'll take Pau any day.
Wash.
And center, I got Joakim Noah.
Oh, I got
I'll take Noah.
I got Timofey Mozgov. Joakim Noah.
Chicago.
His
if
dad
they
was a
figure out
French
their
tennis
true
player.
identity in defense, then they're going to be amazing. They're going to be really hard to beat because they have one of the best scoring teams this year. They have
Who?
Resurgence and
Who?
Pau. They have Jimmy
No,
Butler as
stop
a
talking.
young
Stop
player
talking
that-
right now. Who has one of the best scoring teams?
Chicago.
Are you kidding me? Who scores for
And,
them?
like I was saying, they have a really good
Who
shooting
scores
team.
for them?
And once they figure out their identity on
Hey!
defense, get Tom Thibodeau, get
Hey!
back into the rhythm, they'll be
Hey,
really
dummy!
good and have a Taj Gibson coming off the bench, Kirk Hinrich,
Trent!
Aaron Brooks. you have all those guys come off the bench that can score. They're going to beat Chicago.
Trent!
They will beat Cleveland in 6 games.
Trent, who scores on that team?
Jimmy Butler, Derrick Rose, Pau Gasol. Do you want me to keep going?
That's 3. That's all you got.
Kirk Heinrich,
He occasionally
Michael-
scores.
Aaron Brooks.
He occasionally scores. They're both in single digits.
Like I was saying, they would easily win in 6 games.
They haven't
That's what-
beat Cleveland all year.
Also, I could see Washington and Atlanta beating them.
Well, how would Atlanta beat them? Who do they have?
They got Jeff Teague.
Okay.
They got Kyle Korver.
Okay.
Damari Carroll, who's their best player.
Stop.
Paul Millsap and Al Horford.
Are you trying to be serious at all today? Are you trying to wash all your credibility down the drain?
Why are they the best team in NBA?
Just because you're the best regular season team does not mean you're the best team in the postseason.
Now, granted, I believe Atlanta could be that team that gets
Bounced in the
voted
first
out
round,
the
right?
First round.
Yeah.
But I believe that they also play great team ball. They're the most unselfish team you will find in all of NBA right now.
That's fine.
They try to get players involved. They play good defense. They're all bought in to the system, to each other. They could beat Cleveland.
Okay, but will they? I don't think so.
Now, I don't think they will, but I believe that they could.
Anybody can beat anybody.
No, not anybody. Not in a 7-game series. I believe that they could
Okay.
beat them in a 7-game series.
Cleveland could lose to Washington or Atlanta.
Chicago, you have
No,
Chicago.
no, because they haven't beat Chicago, or Chicago hasn't beaten them all year. Now I understand. I understand that Boston beat Miami in the regular season like a rag doll when LeBron was there, and they never beat them in the playoffs. I understand that, but this Chicago team doesn't have they're not playing defense.
How about Toronto?
Toronto has been having issues with Cleveland all year. They've only beat them one time.
Okay, all right, I'm going to go back to your thing. Just because that happens in the regular season doesn't mean that that'll happen in the playoffs.
I know that, but Cleveland matches up extremely well with Toronto.
Oh, I agree with that. I do, I agree with that. Like I said, I believe Chicago, mainly Chicago and Washington, probably would give them the most trouble.
Atlanta's too small.
Yeah, I believe
Washington-
Atlanta would have to really, really play their best games to beat Cleveland. That's why I believe Chicago, as much as you don't like Chicago and as bad as they're playing, they still have the group of guys that could pull together and win it.
I understand
they have
that,
a good team.
but Derrick Rose isn't the same Derrick Rose.
I don't think he needs to be.
Joakim Noah has been run into the ground by Tom Thibodeau. Jimmy Butler
He's been awesome.
he's their best player overall.
Yeah.
Both sides of the ball, he's their best player, but that's all you have.
No, well, you got Pau. He's having a career year.
Okay, but Powell's doing a lot of good stuff against a lot of bad teams in the East. Teams he didn't play as much against in LA.
Okay, Ben. LeBron's doing a bunch of stuff against bad players in the East.
He's been doing it for 11 years, though. 12 years now.
Powell's been an all-star for many of years. He's won championships. He's been on a winning team. He knows how to win. He's a winner.
Yeah, but that only goes so far. He doesn't play defense.
Yeah, he's 7 foot.
Okay.
He can play defense.
Would you like to tell me how tall Derrick Rose is?
6'2".
Okay. Jimmy Butler? 6'7"?
6'4".
He's not 6'4". He's taller than that.
6'7", probably, yeah.
Okay.
6'6" or 7.
So why is it that Powell's 7 foot tall, he can play defense?
He's still a big body underneath.
I understand he's soft though.
He can be. Okay, let's take it there. Kevin Love and Pau Gasol match up perfectly for each other.
I understand that. They have the same game basically.
Yeah. So it's not like Pau needs to play much defense. All he's gonna do is sit down there on the perimeter and let Kevin Love shoot threes that he'll probably miss most games.
Cleveland will not have any trouble with Chicago. They beat Chicago.
That's absolutely ignorant.
They would beat Chicago in 5 games.
There's no way.
All right.
Absolutely no way.
All right, write it down. Anyway, coming up next, we'll talk about the changing scenery of the NBA playoffs or what possibly could happen. Coming up next. Ben Winks.
He'll be making $8 million a year in Michigan.
Understood. Trent Noop.
He will be the highest paid coach in all of football.
Also understood. This is the 2 Point Stance podcast.
Daddy turned around the University of Michigan.
Adam Silver has taken slight advantage of the situation he has found Roger Goodell in. He is now the People's Commissioner. He's been discussing possibly legalizing sports gambling. And now he's talking about reseeding the NBA playoffs. I think it's an interesting topic. What do you think?
Well, for any of you guys that don't know exactly what we're talking about, Adam Silver has discussed the possibility of taking the top 16 best teams in all of NBA, and it would be a playoff like that. There would be no more top 8 of Eastern, no more top 8 of Western. It would just be the top 16 best teams, and so on and so forth. I think it's interesting, too, but I also believe that there'd probably only be 3 or 4 Eastern Conference teams in there, and the rest would be from Western, so I don't really know how good of a diversity that would be.
Oh, I mean, it's an interesting topic, but I don't think there's any way it'll go through.
No, I don't see any way it will go either.
Because, like you said, there'd be 12 Western teams, 4 Eastern teams. And, like, Atlanta would be the number 1 seed.
Yeah.
But then, after that, it'd be a while before you hit the Torontos, the Washingtons, the Chicagos of the world.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be, like Cleveland,
they'd be down.
Like a 14, 15?
I don't think they'd be that low.
But they'd be down there, though.
Yeah, they'd probably be.
They're top 4 or 5 team right now in the Eastern.
They're 5, yeah.
Yeah. So, as interesting as it is, because you would get the best of the best in there, I don't think it's a good idea because you're really having no diversity, like I was saying, from the Eastern and Western.
Oh, I agree with that. I think it would be interesting to talk about, though, because then you'd have some interesting playoff matchups, because possibly in the finals you could finally get you could get a true Western Conference Finals in the NBA Finals. And while that might be interesting, I don't think that would satisfy the true national
I don't either.
portion of the NBA itself, you know what I mean?
Because you could get a Golden State versus Rockets matchup, for example.
Exactly.
2 of the better teams in the whole league. But again, that's where they should have that. For when you hit, Houston and Golden State, that's a great Western Conference matchup.
Exactly.
Finals. That's not, when I think of NBA Finals, I'm thinking of a Boston and Lakers. I'm not thinking of 2 Western Conference teams in there.
That's why I don't think it'll go through. However,
yeah, I don't either.
I do see at some point the legalized sports gambling going through, because Adam Silver has talked with the MLB commissioner Manfred and Goodell for the NFL about possibly legalizing sports betting. I think it'd be, what's the downside?
There's not a whole lot. I would hope no players would ever bet against themselves or against their
See, that's the thing. You could probably get into people throwing games, like referees, possibly like Tim Donaghy. But I think overall, if it's what the people want, I don't see how people would ever fault Adam Silver for bringing this up.
I don't either, but at the same time, if a referee would miscall a game or throw a game, then that would really, really go bad on Adam Silver.
Oh,
it would make him.
It would totally backfire.
Exactly, and obviously, if one person did it, more people would start doing it. So you'd have to put it into that right away. So that's why I don't really see that ever happening either, because you'd have the chance of a referee throwing a game or a player throwing a game, for more money.
I think if you look at it, if you had to pick one, either the conference reseeding for the playoffs or the sports betting, I feel like the sports betting would likely pass. But I do believe that just for fun, I think that the Western Conference versus Eastern Conference merger would be much more interesting.
Yeah, definitely. I agree.
I don't think, like I said, I don't think it'll happen, but it's fun to talk about. Coming up next, we'll hit some NFL free agency to give you guys a quick little taste of football since it's been a week since we've seen a game, and it'll be about, 7 months before we see another one. We'll be right back. Ben Winks. Trent, who's your favorite San Antonio Spur?
Donegal.
Trent Noop. Trent, who's your favorite Miami Heat player?
Dawan.
This is the 2 Point Stance Podcast.
Donegal.
The NFL season ended a week ago as far as playing goes, but the offseason is just getting started, and for some people, that's the most entertaining time. Looking through some of the free agents this year, it's quite the list.
It's a pretty weak, honestly, free agent class when you look at quarterback play. Your top 5 quarterbacks that are free agents are Mark Sanchez, Jake Locker, Brian Hoyer, Ryan Mallett, and probably Christian Ponder or Michael Vick. That's probably the weakest there has ever been in a long, long time for a quarterback. There's absolutely no starting quarterback caliber player on that list right there. If Mark Sanchez is your best player, there's a problem.
Well, would you take Mark Sanchez or Brian Hoyer?
Probably Brian Hoyer. I
I
believe he's the better game manager.
He's a free agent. Looking
Right, I'm saying.
yeah, I understand.
Yeah, okay, but anyway.
There aren't many
There's
quarterbacks.
been rumors that Rex Ryan's going to give Mark Sanchez a call for Buffalo to have him come try out for him. So that'd be interesting.
He's better than anything they have right now.
I agree. But once you move down to the running back position, you have some good running backs here. You have DeMarco Murray, C.J. Spiller, Ryan Matthews, Mark Ingram, Frank Gore, Shane Vereen, Ahmad Bradshaw. You got Justin Forsett in there. So you definitely have some decent running backs in that category. And the one that's really interesting is Ray Rice. You really don't know what's going to happen with him, if any team's going to give him a shot, but he's there and available.
I don't know how much he has left in the tank.
I believe
Honestly.
that he has shown that he's shown that he's a good running back. But like you just said, I don't know, especially with all the court situations he's been through, how mentally tough he is anymore.
Oh, that's
and
not.
how much that he can deal with this.
That's not necessarily what I meant. I was just thinking about it from the last time we saw him on the field when he was with Baltimore in 2013. He only averaged 3.2 yards a carry. I mean, he's past his prime. He's been worked heavily in that Baltimore offense since he reached prominence a few years earlier. So I don't know how much tread's left on those tires. But look,
I think if he would go to like a Cowboys team with that great offensive line, I believe he could do well. But I don't think he could go to a team like the Raiders or someone like that who doesn't have the greatest offensive line. And I don't think he could be successful in that. I think the only way he would ever be successful again would be as a role player and a great offensive line.
I agree with that. Looking at the top 50, though, top 50 free agents, there's some big names. Ndamukong Suh, Dez Bryant, Demaryius Thomas, Darrelle Revis, Jason Pierre-Paul, Julius Thomas, DeMarco Murray, Randall Cobb, Jeremy Maclin. There's a lot of big names in here.
What's your take? I'm sure most of the nation's waiting to see what the Cowboys are going to do. Are they going to be able to keep both Dez Bryant and DeMarco Murray, or are they only going to be able to keep one, or neither? What do you think?
They will keep Dez Bryant. I have heard on the radio, on ESPN radio, that the Dallas Cowboys have offered DeMarco Murray a contract. It's a bit of a slap in the face, though. It's a 4-year, $16 million deal. And coming off of an 1,800 plus yard season, that's rather disrespectful. So I think
Go ahead.
I think DeMarco Murray will be moving along. And seeing as how they'll have a spot open at the starting running back position, I think Jerry Jones will do everything he can do to try to pry Adrian Peterson away from Minnesota.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and just say this right now. I believe AP will be back with Minnesota. But besides that, I believe that they'll 100% keep Des Bryant. I believe Jones is going to try all he can do to keep Murray. And that might also mean getting rid of some cap room. Somehow, some way, they might be able to trade one of their players, defensive player, whatnot, and get some more cap to be able to keep DeMarco and Dez. But I'm not overly sure that they'll be able to keep Murray or not. The other interesting thing I would like to talk about is what do you think is going to happen with Marshawn Lynch?
I think Marshawn Lynch has had enough, and let's try that again. I think, oh my gosh, I can't talk tonight. America, this is what happens. This is what happens when you're at college. This is exactly what happens. You lose the ability to speak because the teacher's overworking.
Man, what's happened to Marshawn Lynch?
Anyway, I feel like Marshawn Lynch has got tired of the situation in Seattle because there's a vine that was on the, oh my gosh. There was a vine circling after the Super Bowl shortly after the infamous interception thrown by Russell Wilson on the one where he just walked back to the sideline laughing because they did not give him the ball. He's been in a tussle with them about money in the offseason, about playing time. I can't see him going back there because I don't think they're going to give him the money that he wants. If I remember correctly, I think he's from Oakland.
Yes.
So I can see him ending up in Oakland.
That's where I see him
just
going.
For money.
I believe if he leaves Seattle, the only place he'll be going is Oakland.
I don't see why he wouldn't head home. I mean, it seems like a logical move. He's won.
They're going to pay him money.
Yeah, exactly. Follow the money. Because he plays running back, a very violent position. Who knows how long his career's already lasted longer than the average NFL player. So anything he can get on top of what he has now, go for it.
Obviously, Seattle is going to pay him money if he'll stay there. But if he doesn't, Oakland's definitely going to give him money. So I could 100% see him going to Oakland if he leaves Seattle. An interesting player that could fit in with Seattle would be like a Mark Ingram.
I don't think so.
He's not Marshawn Lynch, but they're kind of the same type of a back. I think Ingram could fit into that system.
I don't think Ingram's any good in the NFL.
He had a good year last year when he was healthy.
Define good. I know he went to the Pro Bowl, but that's just because everybody and their brother dropped out. I almost got a call to attend the Pro Bowl also.
I did get a call.
Why didn't you go?
Well, I just have...
Did you have to bowl?
No. I just had some other priorities come up. But anyway, Mark Ingram rushed for 964 yards this year and 9 touchdowns, and only on 226 attempts.
How many games did he play in?
What's that, Ben?
How many games did he play in?
I'm looking that up.
This is great radio. Looking up stats on the internet while we're trying to talk to you guys, America. America, how are you doing? Is life getting you down? Price of shrimp too high?
He played 13 games.
Okay, so 964 yards in 13 games. That's not.
That's a pretty decent year because he hasn't done any. Okay, before that he rushed for 386 yards, 602 yards in 16 games, and 474. So he made a big turn this year.
Well, I know, but it's still not very good. It's good for him, but compared to a good NFL running back, that's awful.
Okay, so if he leaves there, what are they going to do? Are they going to just stick with their backup Turbin?
Murray.
Are they going to use him? Or are they going to go, what?
Murray.
Maybe, but I still think that he's going to somehow end up in...
No, because they offered him that crappy $16 million deal. They don't want him.
Oh, they want him. They just got to get money.
If they don't have the money to spend on him, though, he's not going to
That's why they have to
re-sign.
get rid of somebody.
Okay, they haven't done that yet.
It's early. Okay. Let's say my theory holds true. Marshawn Lynch goes to Oakland. DeMarco Murray stays in Dallas. What are they going to do? Here's what you got. You got C.J. Spillers, Ryan Matthews, Mark Ingram, Frank Gore, Justin Forsett, Shane Vereen, Stephen Ridley.
Jeez. It's like a Norwegian restaurant's menu. There's not much on it and nothing you want. Jeez. You can't go with Gore. He's too
you gotta
old.
go Mark Ingram.
No, I don't want Mark Ingram. I'd probably go
Okay.
Ryan Matthews.
Ryan Matthews?
He has better upside than Ingram.
We'll agree to disagree on that one.
That's fine.
Another interesting topic. Are the Denver Broncos going to be able to keep both Julius Thomas and Demaryius Thomas?
No, they'll keep
And what will that do to Peyton Manning?
Demarius.
Are they going to keep both or just one?
They'll keep Demarius.
Okay, so Julius Thomas will go bye-bye.
Yep.
And what's going to happen with Peyton Manning?
Who
Do they
cares?
come back, retire?
He only has 1 year left.
Yeah, I see Peyton Manning come back for one more year as well.
I don't
And
think
if they only keep Demaryius Thomas, Wes Welker won't be back.
No.
So you'll have Sanders and Thomas.
Hold on.
I don't know much what else they'll be able to get.
Hold on. Wes Welker should have retired a couple years ago. He has been through so many concussions. He's gone over the middle so many times. He really needs to not come back for his own safety.
I don't see him coming back. I think he'll retire.
That's what he needs. Is he a Hall of Famer?
No, I don't think so.
Look at all the catches he has, though.
So I know, I believe he has a good stat sheet, but I don't know. I don't think he's done enough to warrant a Hall of Famer.
All right, that's fine.
I could be wrong, but
I do think Denver keeps Demaryius Thomas. They don't keep Julius Thomas because, I mean, I'll be honest, you can go find another tight end. I don't know how many Demaryius Thomases there are in the league.
yeah, I believe that their first priority has to be keeping Demaryius. But if they can keep Julius, that's huge.
Oh, yeah.
Especially for Peyton's sake. If he comes back, he only has one more year in the tank.
What if
They're going to give him as many weapons as possible to try to go get that Super Bowl.
What if they
They
get
already fired John Fox because he couldn't get to the Super Bowl and win it. So they're going to want to keep as many options available for Peyton as possible.
now? What if they get someone like Jordan Cameron because he's not re-signing in Cleveland?
See, me personally, I don't know how good Jordan Cameron really is. I mean, he had that one really good year.
Yeah,
But he's been injury prone off and on.
Very true.
I don't know. I mean, he might be able to. I'm sure Peyton Manning could make him, better again. But if I'm Peyton, I'd be banking on when to keep Julius and Demaryius because he's used to them. He knows what they're going to do.
yeah, but
They're
that's
used to the same routes. They practice together. They throw and catch balls together.
But if you
they
can't
just use
if you
each other.
can't afford it financially, that's going to be an issue.
Right. And if say that they don't keep Julius, they are able to keep Demaryius, they'll still have Emmanuel Sanders there.
Yes.
So if they could go pick up like a Michael Crabtree or, like a
Randall
Torrey
Cobb.
Smith, someone like that to go along with them, that would be pretty good.
I would take Michael Crabtree.
Yeah, I would too. Yeah. Because I don't think they'll have the money to afford like a Randall Cobb or Dre Macklin, so they'd have to go a little bit lower into the Torrey Smiths and the Michael Crabtrees of the free agency.
Last topic. What do you think the Patriots do with Darrelle Revis? Do they sign him long term, or do they let him test free agency? I think they'll let him test free agency.
Yeah, I believe he'll test free agency, but I believe he'll also end up going back to New England.
See, I wouldn't be surprised if he ends back up with the Jets, because I feel like
I don't think there's any chance that he'll ever go back to the Jets.
I feel like the Jets are going to throw a boat. I feel like the Jets are going to throw a boatload of money at him because it's a new owner, or not a new ownership, a new regime in charge. Yeah, but there's a new GM, there's a new head coach. It's a new starter.
Yeah, but that still hits you hard. He loved New York, and they didn't treat him very well. They sent him packing. he just finally won a Super Bowl in New England his first year there. He tasted the true success there. Like I said, I believe he'll test free agency, but in the end of it all, I believe he'll end up back in New England.
I wouldn't be surprised either way. But we have a month until free agency starts. We got a lot of time to mull this stuff over. Thanks for tuning in to the 2 Point Stance podcast. For Trent, I am Ben. We'll see you next week.